Hello, everyone. I'm Mike Plant, a senior programmer for short film at the Sundance Film Festival, and this is the Q&A for Sweet Nothing. Thanks for watching the film and joining the Q&A. I'm here with the two co-directors. If you could introduce yourself, starting with Joanna.
I'm Joanna, and I studied animation film at the Lucerne School of Art and Design. And Sweet Nothing is our graduation project.
My name is Marie Kenhoff. I studied graphic design and after this also animation. And with Joanna together, we did this film as a graduation project. Exactly.
I hope you passed the class since you got into Sundance. So it's such a lovely, fun, nice short film. I know that, like you said, you made it for school, but what's each of your animation history before you were coming? Did you grow up drawing or animating other films before you got into school? Joanna, we could start with you.
I also studied graphic design before. So I'm also used to drawing, especially comics. And from there, it was the next logical step to also start moving the pictures.
For me, it was more a kind of a coincidence that I came to film. I'm more into advertising actually, but during this studyings, I discovered filmmaking for myself, but it is a new thing for me. I did not so much drawing or directing before. It's a new thing.
What was the biggest hurdle to go from working with still images to a film?
From still image to a film.
Because making a film with a lot of still images is, for us on the outside, it's always remarkable how much an animated short can do. But of course, if we haven't made it, it seems so difficult to pull off as opposed to just drawing one frame.
I think because it's also a comical film. I think like the difference, I mean, like when you just draw a picture or a comic, you also have a timing. But I think like if you make a film, the timing really has to be on point. I think like that was one of the biggest challenges, so that it comes across.
Where did the story come from? It's a short, but we feel like there's very vibrant characters and there's so much of a world created that resonates with us that's much longer than the film itself. Where did the story come from?
This is a Joanna thing, I think.
Yeah, like usually I have a sketchbook with me and I also journal in it as well. And the story is based on a real encounter with a gardener when I was sitting in a cafe and I was observing a gardener that was working there. And like there was like a yeah. So it was just funny how like we always exchanged looks and there was like a yeah yeah, it was kind of a funny situations, and I think it's the easiest way to tell a story from your own point of view and develop it from there. So Mari and I, we just had the setting with a woman, a gardener, and a garden, and from there, yeah, we developed the story further.
The animated films, all films, but especially animation, is such a singular type of filmmaker where it's often the animator working alone. How did you divide up? Well, also, why did you decide to make a film together, and how did you divide up the different duties? Marie, we could start with you.
Well, we already worked in a project before together, and we found out that we share the same humor, I think, and and we became friends during studies, and somehow we like working together. And in the beginning, actually, everything was organically, we did everything together. And during the project, we had some helpers, and we gave up.
Hand over.
We hand over parts of the animation, for example, but I have to say most things, like almost everything, we did together, except the style. This is truly Joanna's drawing style, I think. And I had to learn it, like how she is drawing the figures, and then I copied in a way her style. Yeah.
Joanna, did you have anything to add? Are you sharing the editing as well?
Yes.
We really just like we sat always next to each other on a, like we also had our workplace together, so we always could check with the other person. During COVID, it was a bit more difficult, but even then we managed to always talk with each other. So.
Did that help with the comedic timing then too? You could see if the other person thought it was funny, because like you mentioned before, that's the most difficult thing, whether it's live action or animation. A comedy that's actually funny, it's very hard to make.
We're glad if it's working.
Well, we always showed our ideas also to other people, and checked if they think also it's funny, and
It's also great the way you don't have dialogue, and just, there's so much, especially across, different countries, like everything about the film, we think anyway, will resonate with so many different parts of the world, because it's just so human, and it's so emotional in a fun way, but a very real way. Did you know from the start you didn't want to do dialogue? Was that a choice you talked about?
Well, I think in animation, if you want to have dialogue, it's pretty time consuming to animate the lips. And in this time I think it was clear from the beginning that we have to think of a story without dialogue. So that it was clear from the beginning that it must be a silent movie in a way, or almost silent movie. And in a way, we were forced to be creative in this kind of,
I think like maybe, like you said, the story even comes even more across without dialogue, maybe because people can project themselves more into the characters, and it's more like, because it's also more of a daydream. And I think like everything works kind of together with the music, and maybe I think like the flow of the whole film wouldn't be the same with the dialogue.
Yeah, it all works together really well. Does any of this film to you feel like it's very Swiss, that maybe has something we wouldn't notice?
Something Swiss? Good question.
Well, you can say I never thought about this, but maybe it is a sweet thing that people like to be in their own garden, and usually kind of how to say, yeah,
Check out neighbors.
usually they don't, but in this movie maybe we playing a bit with this, that everybody is actually alone in his garden, but yeah, can also be curious what is in the next garden.
That's
But
why
that doesn't mean that that they don't have any fantasies or
Depending on which language, you also have a different influence, like cultural influence. I think like you somehow you have a different vibe in the Italian speaking part and in the French part.
And now are you planning to keep working together and making more shorts or something longer or other art forms?
Yes, actually, I think we're a good team, and with this project, we grow together and know how we're working, where is our strengths and weakness. And we'd like to go on further with animation, films, or also video clip, like music video clips, and of course.
And Joanna, what would you like to make after this? Are you both enjoying making short films? It's a particular art form to make a short rather than a longer film or just art in general.
I think like the short format suits us because like Mari already said, bringing across a message in a short time, I think like it's kind of challenging, but also fun to have like this limitation.
Have you been able to watch it in a theater with an audience?
Yes.
We actually, oh, sorry.
Nice up.
We had our premiere in Annecy, and we were lucky enough to travel to the festival and also watch the film there with a live audience. So that was really nice.
What was the audience reaction like?
I think like most of them were laughing, so we're happy then.
Yeah, that has to be the scariest part, where people are supposed to laugh and you're sitting there next to them.
Yes, but to me personally, they're always laughing at the same scenes, but not at these scenes that are for me the most funny, but but they do laugh.
Well, we all need, especially with the world today, we need films about love and laughter. And although your film is short, I think it gives the audience a lot of both. So it's a great film, and thank you so much for making it. We're really happy to show it.
Thank you for having us at Sundance Film Festival.